So, welcome to Badass Soul Session number 8. I am so happy for you guys to be here. Today, what I want to talk about is how to start raising your vibration when you're having a shitty day. Because we are all at times going to have a shitty day or be in a bad mood or wake up on the wrong side of the bed. And it's very easy to get stuck in that habitual pattern when we are not feeling very great, to kind of get stuck in that place. So I want to give you 10 ways today of ways that I use on a regular basis to shift my vibration, to shift my emotional state, and to move higher up on the emotional scale. And this, again, is never to say don't feel shitty, don't feel grief, or don't feel anger, or don't feel fear. Those are all natural emotions. But we also have the ability to feel empowered to shift those when maybe that's not really the energetic state that we want to be in. Because sometimes we just kind of get caught in that loop of feeling fear for no reason, because we're kind of either stuck in the past or we're ruminating about the future. And so today is really about how, if you are kind of having a shitty day or in a bad mood, but you don't really want to be, what are some ways that you can take control of that and help yourself shift out of that and increase your vibration, so that when you start increasing your vibration, then you start really attracting the things that you want to attract into your life. And so the first way that I want to talk about today is meditation. Because that, to me, is absolutely the number one secret sauce of shifting your vibration. And this happens for a number of reasons. But for one, there's tons of studies that show why meditation helps to shift mood. One, it takes us into a different wavelength. It takes us into an alpha state. So it literally calms our brain down. It calms our nervous system down. And it gives us a wider perspective. But it also is shown that when we are just like hanging out in our life and we're not focused on anything in particular, that we just go into kind of monkey mind. And as all of you know, I'm sure you've experienced this monkey mind where you're ruminating, you're stressing out about what could possibly happen in the future, you're stressed out about things that you've done in the past, and your mind is just kind of on its own thread. And that's called a default mode. And it has been shown through research that when we go into a meditative state and we consistently practice this, that it takes us out of that default mode. And even when we are in our life and we start to revert back to that default mode, which we will, that people who meditate on a regular basis actually start building these connections in the brain so that we snap out of the default mode more quickly. And default mode is not a place that usually brings us peace and joy and love. It's a place where we're usually beating ourselves up or, stressing out about something. And so meditation is an amazing way to get from your head to your heart and to connect to universal energy, to feel like you're not alone, and it actually lifts the mood and lifts the vibration. And so that is, for me, always my go-to number one way that I start with if I'm waking up on the wrong side of the bed, or I'm really having a hard time shifting my vibration or shifting my emotional state and I'm wanting to feel better. The second way with that, and it's also connected to meditation in my experience and my belief too, is the breath. So the second way that you can help to shift your vibration and shift your emotional state is to pay attention to what you're doing with your breath. Because when we're not feeling good, we usually start to get contracted, or if we're not feeling good, whether you're anxious or whether you're depressed, you're doing something with your breath. So if you're anxious, oftentimes you might be breathing more shallow and more quickly. You can start to hold your breath. So when our breath definitely often is connected to the way that we feel. So if we bring some conscious awareness to what our breath is doing, and we start to slow and lengthen our breaths and to breathe a little bit more deeply into our abdomen, that actually is a trigger to the brain, and it starts to slow the nervous system down. It starts to regulate the nervous system. And as we start to do that, that automatically starts to raise our vibration and to increase our mood. So breath is an awesome way. It's that thing that is always with you that we kind of forget about. We're doing it without thinking. And so if you actually just bring some conscious awareness to that place and slow it down and breathe a little bit more deeply, that is our access to the Shakti. It's our access to Kundalini. It's our access to the universe and to slowing down. And then that automatically creates some expansion, and it increases our vibration and mood. The third is to get out into the sun. And, there is a lot of stuff going around about skin cancer and being in the sun and how long to be in the sun and protecting yourself from the sun and all of these things. And I think sometimes then people can become frightened about getting sun. And it's actually extremely important because it increases our serotonin levels, which is our happy hormone, and it increases our vitamin D. So it's super important for us to get sun, to get sunlight. And so if you're worried about being in the sun, go out into the sun like just around sunrise and sunset, or kind of those couple hours before or after sunrise and before sunset, because the rays aren't as strong, but you're still going to get the benefits of the sun. It's still going to increase your vitamin D. It's going to increase your serotonin, and naturally that increases our happy hormone, and it makes us feel better. It raises our vibration. So just getting out into the sun. The fourth is, and this goes in combination but different in my opinion, is to get outside and to put your feet on the earth, connect with nature, connect with the animals. Get out without your phone, without your headphones on, and listen to the birds. And when we have the ability to connect with nature, to me, this is my personal, when I get to connect with nature, it is the thing that raises my vibration the quickest and the easiest, because it's the place that I just feel the most connected. And it reminds me to come back to my higher self. It reminds me that I am supported and not alone, and that there's something bigger around me that I'm connected to, and I'm not doing this journey of life in this skin all by myself, but I'm actually supported by something greater. It helps me connect to my authenticity and what is really true for me, and then that also helps raise my mood and raise the vibration. And just if you ever have the ability to just go outside and take your shoes off, put your feet on the ground in the grass without your shoes on, it literally helps to ground us and to reconnect us to the rhythm of the earth. So getting outside to me is key in raising vibration. And then the fifth is getting some exercise. So movement is the fastest way that we can change our emotional state. If you are feeling shitty, get off the couch and go do something. Dance around your house, turn some music on, dance around, get a little trampoline and jump on it. Go for a run, but do yoga, do something to get the blood flowing and to move your body. And when you have the ability to exercise or move the body, it literally almost instantaneously changes your emotional state. So find some way to move your body. If you don't have the ability to move a lot, even just doing gentle movements, stretching or stretching your arms above your head, but just not sitting. So our culture has become very sedentary, especially with us sitting in front of computers so frequently now. And so set an alarm clock, set something during your day that reminds you to get up and move, even if it's for just a few minutes, to just get the blood flowing, and it changes the energetic state. So great way to raise your vibration during the day. The sixth is to drink water. And I think this is something that we can often forget about, but that is the building blocks of our body. It is what helps to increase the blood flow. It supports our body in every way to be healthy. And most of us are chronically dehydrated. And I can speak for myself that this is one of the things that's just really hard for me for some reason. Ever since I was little, it is very hard for me. Like, I don't ever feel super thirsty. And so it has to be a very conscious effort for me to drink the amount of water that I should be drinking to keep myself healthy through the day. And so again, this is another thing that this is when technology is helpful, to set a timer or a reminder to drink a cup of water as you go through your day, because this is going to raise your vibration. The more we are over 60%, or probably even more than that, of water. And so if we are not filling ourselves, then our body is working extra hard to get rid of waste and toxins and to move the blood, and for our heart to move our blood through our system. And so if it's wasting energy on that, then it's not giving you energy to feel good emotionally and spiritually and energetically. And so be sure to drink a lot of water through the day. The 7th is to eat well. And this is in the same vein. Like, if you imagine that your body is kind of this premium high-end car, then you would feed your premium high-end car premium fuel, because the better fuel that you can give your body, the higher vibration you're going to be. Again, just the same as water. If you're giving yourself really good food, if you're eating organic food, if you're eating lots of nutrients and vitamins and minerals and fruits and vegetables, and trying to have a more alkaline body versus acidic, then your body isn't going to have to expend so much energy breaking down all of the heavy foods. Like, try to stay away from the fried foods, the processed foods. That is not the premium fuel that you should be feeding your body. Hey, Beth Ann, good to see you. So feed your body really high-end good stuff. It's going to raise your vibration. What you eat is who you are. And so all the foods that we're eating have a vibration, and we're all energy. It also has energy. So if you're putting low energy food into your body, then you are going to feel low energy. If you are putting living, healthy, great vegetables and fruits into your body, that's going to give you energy. And this is just something that you have to personally play around with, because all of us have different things that maybe work for us better. So you're going to have to kind of be aware of your own body consciousness around eating foods and noticing how they make you feel. Because after you eat, if you know that you're not eating awesome things, if you are completely exhausted after you finish eating, like if you get that complete crash after you're eating, you probably need to shift your diet a little bit. Your eating should be giving you energy, not taking it away. So when we have low energy, that also kind of takes our mood down as well. So that will increase your vibration if you're eating really high vibrancy foods. 8 is also one of my personal favorites, and one that impacts me a great deal, and that is to declutter. One of the things that can really bring our vibration down is to have a messy space around us, to have a crowded, clogged space around us. And so the more that you can, and I let me know if you've experienced this before, that when you take a bag of clothes or a few bags of clothes or something from your kitchen, and you take it and you drop it off at the Salvation Army, or you give it away, or you sell it, or anything like that, how good it feels to get rid of some of those things. And one of the reasons that happens is because when we declutter and get rid of some of the things that don't serve us anymore, that we don't want, that's just taking up space, it actually doesn't allow room for new things that will serve us to come in. So the more that we can get rid of things that we don't want, it leaves more space for the things that we want to come in. So hopefully that makes sense. So go through, just take one small room or one small space at a time, and just go through it and take out the things that don't serve you anymore. If you haven't worn it in the last few months, you probably aren't going to wear it. And don't just keep keeping things thinking, just if there's that one time I might need it. Well, don't worry about that. Just get rid of the things that you don't want. It also feels good just to give it away to somebody who it may serve. It's like this ripple effect that you are also creating by decluttering and giving away some of the things that aren't serving you. So decluttering is a great way to raise your vibration. So just even now, look around your space and see if you see anything, even in your immediate environment, that it would feel good just to be like, I haven't used that in forever. I just don't need it. So practice decluttering. The 9th is to unplug. So I can't stress this enough, and I guarantee I guarantee not one person on here probably unplugs enough, including myself. And there's a million reasons why we should unplug, but especially just one reason, just in terms of what we are getting from the technology, like the waves and the toxins that we are taking in just from the frequency that we're taking into our bodies. So please, if there's one thing you do or one thing you take away from this, please shut your phones off at night. So many people sleep with them in their bedrooms or close to them. Shut it off. Turn it on airplane mode, preferably just shut it off completely. If you're having trouble sleeping, see if their phone is in your room. It's often a number one reason why people can't sleep well, because all of the bandwidth is still coming and we're taking it in. Plus all of the images and the information overload and bombardment that we're getting by being on our phones and our computers all the time, and the news and everything else. It's like we're just taking in so much information and imprinting so much shit into our brain that literally it is lowering the vibration. Thanks, Beth Ann. I agree on the clutter makes me frazzled. Me too. It totally makes me frazzled. I can't work if my desk is cluttered. So to come back to unplugging, so it's just unplug. Like, find times through the day where you just turn your phone over. When we're trying to do multitasking, that also does not work. I think especially if there's a lot of women on here, we think that we are amazing multitaskers, but really as humans, we are not meant to multitask. Our brains are not meant to work that way. It's very hard to track everything that's going on, and so that's when things get missed or misplaced. So just find ways to unplug from your computer, from your phone, especially from social media. There are so many studies that show that just like increases envy and loneliness and comparison, and it's one of the fastest things that brings our mood down. So pay attention to how much time you're spending on social media. Even if you don't want to compare yourself, that's just kind of a natural human tendency that we have to look at other people's lives and what's going on and compare ourselves to others. So unplug. That will raise your vibration. And then the last, but very much not least, is to do a rampage of appreciation. So when we are kind of in a shitty day, and we're in that monkey mind, and we're kind of stuck on this scroll that we have playing, on this reel that we have playing, most of the time we are not looking at the sunny side of the street, right? We are looking through this lens of a little bit doom and gloom, or worst case scenario, or we're thinking about the past, or we're totally stressed out about what could possibly happen in the future. And so the fastest way to start shifting out of that is to go into appreciation. And I talked about this in my group yesterday. Just to switch from looking through that lens and just sit down with a journal and start appreciating anything that you can think of. And when we are in that place of appreciation and gratitude, it's almost impossible to be in the doom and gloom. And so naturally it raises our vibration, and it starts to make us feel better when we think about the fact that, wow, I can just even use my eyes and see things, and I live in the beautiful place, and I have an amazing dog, and I have great kids, and whatever it is, like just start, I love my bed, I love my pillow or my sheets, whatever it is, the smallest things, it doesn't matter, because most of the planet doesn't have some of the things that you who are watching this and have the ability to watch this have. And so start appreciating some of those things. And as you start appreciating, it starts to increase your mood and raise your vibration. So with all 10 of these, so meditation, breathing, getting out into the sun, getting outside just in general and connecting with nature, exercising, drinking water, eating well, decluttering, unplugging, and saying gratitudes, all 10 of those are kind of wrapped into this piece of awareness. So the only time you really want to be super, super honest with yourself, for sure, is to know what you're feeling in this moment, because the only way that you are going to be able to move up the emotional scale is to know how you're feeling. And so if you start out having a not so great day and you're feeling kind of shitty, or you're feeling fear or grief, then that gives you the ability and the power to say, oh, I'm going to try one of these 10 things, and I'm sure there's others that are helpful for you as well, but choose something and try it. See if it shifts. Go for a walk outside. And then from there, if that makes you feel a little bit better, great. Then go do something. What would make you feel even a little bit better next? And just keep changing it, because what happens when we spend a lot of time being in a state that isn't great, literally our brain is creating chemicals that align with that particular emotion. So there is a chemical for sadness, there's a chemical for fear, there's a chemical for grief. And your brain starts making those chemicals, and it's sending it out into the pituitary, and it's sending it into the bloodstream, and it's connecting to receptors. And those receptors start craving that particular chemical that is produced. So we start getting into this habit, into this pattern of feeling a certain emotion. So we have to be proactive. We can't just sit around and say, man, I hope I feel better today. Oh shoot, I woke up feeling the same shitty way I did yesterday. You actually have to do something about it. You have to be proactive and try to shift that feeling, because then when your brain starts to feel that shift and you start to feel a little bit of joy, then your brain starts making that chemical, and it starts sending it down into the bloodstream, and the receptors start taking in the joy, and then the receptors start looking for joy instead of start looking for fear and grief. And so it literally has a physiological change that happens in your body when you start purposefully trying to move up the emotional scale and shift that pattern of maybe being stuck in a shitty place. So pick one, like just notice where you are today. If you're not feeling great, or even if you're just feeling medium, even if you're in the neutral part of the emotional scale, just think of something, try one of these 10 or something else that works for you. And just try it and see if it raises it even a little. And we're not trying to go from feeling like complete shit to feeling amazing. You're just trying to shift up the emotional scale little by little, because then your body starts to become the new normal as you start to feel a little bit better. And then if you keep practicing, it starts to get a little bit higher, and that becomes the new normal. So it has to be a proactive practice. It has to be a proactive practice. You can't just cross your fingers and hope that you're going to feel better tomorrow or the next day, because probably your body has gotten in this pattern and in this habit that's been in for a while. And so you need to do something to shift it. So I hope that those 10 help you. Pick one today and try it out. And I would love for you guys to drop in the comments of the maybe one that you use that works. And if there's one that I didn't name today, I'm sure there's lots. If there's one that really works for you that I didn't name today, drop it in the comments, because it's going to help other people as well. Because the more that we can share and connect and help each other to stay in kind of a more high vibration state, we're all connected, then the more that we end up staying there. So we are all connected, the people who are in this and in my group and watching. So please share what works for you as well. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. I am in the process of creating a meditation program that should be out in about a month. So if that piece really interests you, whether you're just kind of at the beginning stages of meditation, or you have a lot of resistance, or you're like, I can't stop my mind, I'm going to try to bust some of the myths around meditation and make it really simple and easy for you to start meditating on a regular basis, because this is going to be the fastest thing that increases your vibration and starts changing your mood in a consistent way, so that you start attracting what you really desire into your life. So have a wonderful day. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you all soon. Bye.